Hello, welcome back to Hunter Tune. Today we're going to continue the turbo my Integra in the driveway build, and it's been a couple days. We've been busy doing some other stuff, but the car has been sitting here, and I've done like two small things since filming the last video. One of them being I did get the oil feed line actually attached to the turbo. None of this stuff is like fully mounted, but I wanted to see like how the oil line would sit on the car here. And I got the wastegate permanently bolted on, the manifold is permanently bolted on, but the turbo is loose. As you can see, these nuts are not tight yet. Just kind of wanted to you know, mock stuff up and build a drain line. So we got the feed line done in the end of the last video, but the drain line, we have to get that oil through the turbo, coming from the engine pressurized, and then it has to go back into the oil pan or a higher spot than the oil level. So the best place that I've heard from guys that are actually doing this is to run the oil drain back into the oil pan, just like I do on every car. Whenever I don't run the drain line back into the oil pan, it always turns up and brings up issues later. I've had guys with, you know, even turbo LS cars try to run it, you know, in the side of the pan or the back of the pan, whatever. It just never works because you always have to have the drain line above the oil level on the front of the engine. So because this is a front wheel drive car, the front of the oil pan, well, it doesn't matter that's front wheel drive, but the front of it obviously is towards the headlights. So we had to run the drain line, and I actually went to my shop the other day and I got some hose. So I just got some random AN line from Evil Energy. So we're gonna have to extend the fuel line that I'll talk about, the brake booster line, just because it was in the way of the turbo. So we're gonna extend that stuff, and then I already built the drain line, and I'm gonna show you guys that right now. So we have a flange. You wanna film down here? So we have a flange coming off of the turbo down here that I showed you guys that I got from Torque Solutions on eBay. It's just a GTX series return line flange that has a 10 AN fitting on it. And then I took a 10 AN 45, and this is 10 AN hose running down, and it travels down over the transmission, over the slave cylinder here. And this is actually the shifters. I'm gonna have to mount this and zip tie it over so the shifter doesn't hit it, because you can see here when you're shifting through the gears, if the return line was sitting right here, it would hit it. So I'm going to actually, this stuff isn't fully tight yet, I'm just trying to mock stuff up. I'm going to fully tighten this so the hose is over here farther, and then I might run a zip tie or something to secure it over this way so the shifter isn't interfering. I also got the heater hoses fully done. I might actually have a picture of that I'll throw up right now. If I don't have a picture, I'll show you guys when I pull this turbo back off. But the drain line's running down, and then underneath the car. So here's my drain line. This is a 1/2-inch pipe thread to 10 AN fitting, and I ended up taking a drill and I drilled the oil pan. I took the pan off when I did this. I didn't do it on the car. I took the pan off, I drilled it right here, and I tapped with a 1/2-inch pipe thread tap. And then I screwed the fitting in with JB Weld on the threads. And then I JB Welded around the outside here. So that fitting is not going to move whatsoever. I've done this with just like RTV on the threads, and I haven't had any issues, but over time, the fitting might come loose. So I used JB Weld this time, and hopefully she holds up. So then off of the drain, I have a 45 as well, and then this is the hose that I was just showing you guys. It runs up right there, and then up over the slave cylinder where I was showing you up top. So I'm gonna tighten all this stuff down, get it all secure.
This is kind of get, huh?
What? What's get?
Rust bucket.
Yeah, well, I think this is just from, because this car came from South Carolina.
Okay.
You got dandruff or what?
No, it's paint.
Christine was actually painting our gate. We put up a gate at our house so Roxy doesn't run away, and she was painting it. You can't see the paint because she painted the other side, you know, the side that people can see.
I still, it's multiple day deal.
Not all in one day. So this is a South Carolina car, and I think all this stuff in the radiator is like sand from the beach, maybe? Or rock? I don't know what they use down there. I guess they don't need it for snow. It doesn't snow there, so. Anyways, now moving on to the front of the car, I actually have...
Daily Roxy brake.
What?
The daily Roxy brake.
What is it?
Clip of Roxy.
Oh, yeah, I just
Now
had...
she's hiding.
Oh, no, she doesn't want to be on camera today.
Me either.
Oh, moving on to the front of the car, I actually removed the front bumper off camera, and I got that sitting right here. I was just going to show you guys quick. It's pretty easy to take the bumper off on this car. It actually has a little plate that sits up here, and it has a bunch of Phillips head screws all along, and it has a 10 mil here, a 10 mil right here, and then you have a Phillips typically right here. And then most stock cars will have two 10 mils coming off of the bottom. So this is the plate that I removed. These are all the bolts. I'm just keeping them over here so when I put the bumper back on, I know where they're at.
You want those or not?
What?
Sunglasses? Are those important?
Did they run away? She ran away with them.
She's gonna crush them and break them. She already did that to your one pair.
Well, good thing these sunglasses were free.
Roxy, don't eat them.
Don't eat my sunglasses.
Go get them.
We also know that training 101 is you don't chase your dog, but she likes it.
Can I have those, honey? Drop.
Ooh, they got some flavor to them now. They're a little bent. How do they look?
Good, from afar. Oh, she almost got it.
All right, so next I'm going to try and get the intercooler mounted, and that's why I took the bumper off, obviously. And I'm going to try to mount it in front of the actual bumper, like underneath of it. So factory, these bumpers have a, it's kind of like a box, except the one side on the back is open. So I actually cut open the bottom side of this. You'll probably have to show them down here what I did. Or I will. So down here I actually cut away. There was a plate here, so I had to cut all this away. And I have to actually cut a little farther because the intercooler doesn't quite fit yet. But if I cut to the seam on both sides, I'm gonna cut to that seam on both sides, and then hopefully the intercooler will actually sit up in there, and I'll show you how it's kind of gonna look. And that way, doing it this way, with this size intercooler that I showed you guys in one of the last videos, when this sits all the way up in here, like it should, we can bolt it directly through the top of the bumper, and then we can also run the plates that they give you with this intercooler. They're just pieces of flat stock, and we can bolt it to the radiator support down here, and then to the bottom, so we'll have 4 mounting points on the intercooler. I have done it where I just run the bottom, and I cut this thing like literally right here, and I just sawzall it on both sides. So this isn't even here anymore, but I think with this being here, we can make it work. So we're gonna try to at least. So I'm gonna cut away this stuff here, and then we're gonna try to get the intercooler mounted on the bumper. Caught?
Are those safety glasses?
Yeah. Should I show them the picture of my eye when I wasn't wearing safety glasses? I don't know if I still have it, but safety second, guys. Always remember that.
What's first?
plug the tool in. All right, guys, so I got the bumper cut out. So now the intercooler actually fits up in here how I want it to, just like that. So we are going to attach and we're going to bolt the top of the intercooler through the bumper on the top. And I'm actually going to use these spacers. So I went to the store and I got one of these bolts and I got a spacer. So the spacer I'm going to put on top of the intercooler here like this, and that's going to space it off of the top of the bumper here, because if I put it up flush.
That's a nice word.
What?
Flush.
If I put this up flush, you can see that this outlet over here,
Oh.
where my thumb is,
Oh.
you can see that this outlet is actually about touching the bumper over here. So I could cut more of this out, but I think it'd be easier just to space it down so it sits right about there. That way we can still get our coupler on, and it's not going to be hitting anything. So I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the top right here.
How old are you?
Keep it PG. You know why I'm doing this, babe?
I'm thinking. Nope.
Okay, so I put grease on top of here. So when I put this up where I want it.
I thought you needed your spacer down there.
I know, we're getting there. So this is where I want it. So I put the grease on here, so when I put the intercooler up, the grease sticks to the bumper and I know where to drill my hole. So I can see that it hit here. Can't really see it too good over here. So
It's because you didn't add enough grease.
no, I did. Okay, so another reason I'm using these spacers on top of the intercooler is because there's actually a lip on the inside of the bumper still that I didn't cut out, and I'm too lazy, so just doing it this way, spacing it so it's not actually hitting that lip on the inside, should do just fine. So now I'm going to drill my holes. You can probably see the grease. So you can see where my grease actually hit on the bumper, and those where my holes are going to go. So I'm going to drill 2 holes, then we'll get this thing mounted.
Wow. That was entertaining to watch.
Did you like my safety glasses? I completely shut my eyes.
Yeah. The ones that are just sitting right on your head that you could just pull down. Okay. Didn't learn his lesson from his ER visit. This is fun.
All right, guys, so I got the intercooler bolted on the top here with those spacers. Everything is clearing. I'll be able to fit my coupling on the intercooler here. The only thing is on this side, I'd have to cut out a little bit more because the part of the bumper that I cut is actually hitting on the intercooler, and over time that metal on metal contact right here might rub a hole through the intercooler. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push it forward ever so slightly, and I'm going to mount the bottom. So I'm going to have Christine pushing on the intercooler like this. That way we'll have a gap right here, and when we're done I'm going to show you how it's going to look. But I took these brackets right here actually came with the intercooler and the bolts. I just have them started, and I'm going to take these brackets, like I said, and I'm going to run these two self-drilling screws into the radiator support on the bottom. So I'm going to do that right now. And I'm using a fender washer on there as well to just get more surface area for the bolt.
Do you want those sunglasses, or? I thought I had to push on it. How's it going?
These screws suck. So I'm going to pre-drill a hole instead.
Come here, puppy. Roxy. Roxy girl. Hi. Uh-oh.
Wow. I didn't even push on the fucking thing and it broke. Don't you love building cars?
Nope. Good job.
Now we put this back on. Want to grab me that screw that's sitting over there? No, it's right here. Never mind. So these self-drilling screws, I had to pre-drill a hole. There we go. There, that fucker went in good. Perfect. Now if you push this forward, can you push it forward slightly? There you go. Hang on. Loosen this bolt up. Okay, push it forward slightly. That's a little too far. Let go. I only need to do one side. I'm just kidding. And both. Okay.
Do you want to take that away?
Alright guys, so this is the bottom bracket here, the ones that they give you. I ran a self-drilling screw right here, made sure to stay away from my radiator. So I pre-drilled it with this little drill bit right here. And once I pre-drilled it, then the screw actually bit and it worked really good. But using it as a, and don't push hard on these drill bits. Don't push hard on the drill bits because they will snap. So like I said, pre-drilled it and then the screw ended up working really good. Is there a screw somewhere over here? What the screw looks like from trying to use it as a drill bit. Even though these are supposed to be self-drilling, she's tacoed. So definitely should pre-drill them no matter what. Junk. See the brackets on the bottom? Got it all secured. Started throwing some piping on here to kind of figure out, get an idea of what I want to do for piping. I'll show you guys that in a second. But I did take the turbo off another time just to, because I have to tighten the drain line on the bottom of the turbo. And it's kind of difficult when it's on the manifold here. I can't really get a wrench up in here, so I have to I'll have to tighten the drain line while it's up here, and then once it's tightened, I'll bolt the turbo onto the manifold. And you can see the finished product here on the heater hose. A little better now. So I just took a brass 90 from the hardware store, and it clears the wastegate and everything. I got these fittings installed on the top and bottom of the gate, and I have them positioned where I can still get vacuum lines on them. My fuel lines extended. You can see I did this as well. I just tied the fuel line together, and I mounted it lower, pretty much resting right on top of the transmission. Before they ran like a lot higher than that. They ran like above the shifter and stuff. So now I mounted them down here, and they're away from the heat and away from the turbo parts. So I'm just kind of cleaning up a lot of this wiring management on this thing, because the wiring harness, when it was installed, it was kind of just like thrown on. So I'm going to try to clean up a lot of the wiring and try to route it so it's away from stuff that's moving, away from heat and stuff like that, so the harness doesn't have issues later. So I'm going to finish up a lot of that stuff. I also got my 90-degree fitting on the fuel line here. So this is a 90 that I ended up putting on. This had a straight fitting on it, and with the straight fitting, it pretty much ran right in front of the turbo. So I put a 90 on it so I could run it down. Hopefully you guys can see this. I ran it down, and then, like I said, around. So it goes underneath the throttle body and then down here. So when we put our intercooler pipe on off of here, we'll be able to clear the fuel lines, and when we put the turbo on, we'll be able to clear the fuel lines. So I'm gonna get the turbo final mounted on here, try to get some of the harness plugged back in, and then I'll pick up with you guys when I figure out how I want to run the intercooler piping, and just kind of give you an idea of what I'm thinking. Honestly, that little universal kit, I'm probably gonna have to cut like 2 of these pipes a little bit shorter, and I had to order 2 45-degree couplers because the kit only comes with 90s and straights. I did need a 45 off of the turbo itself, and I needed a 45 off of the intercooler. So, but I already pretty much have the piping laid out, and it's going to be super simple to put piping on this thing. I'm not going to need to hire a fab guy or anything like that. So that'll all work out. I've got to get a downpipe built, but I'm going to pick up with you guys when I get all this stuff buttoned back up. Alright guys, so today, this is actually the next day, I got the turbo all bolted on, everything's tightened down for the final time, the drain line's on, the feed line, all that's tight, and now I'm going to work on the exhaust, just because we need to at least get a downpipe on this thing. My camera's going to die, so we might have to cut this, but we have to at least get a downpipe on the turbo in order to start it. I mean, we could, but it's going to blow exhaust all over the frickin' brake cylinder, so I don't want to do that. So I brought my welder home from the shop, as you can see here. I was going to just like mark it with a Sharpie, but I tried that, and it definitely, you need the car there in order to frickin' build an exhaust. It's not just as simple as marking something, lining it up, and welding it. Because, like I said, I tried doing that, got mad, and I just brought my welder to my house because, you know, why not? So I have this pipe right here. It was actually a U. Obviously my weld's perfect. Super fucking Instagram weld porn. But I took a piece of exhaust. It was a U. Similar to this piece of intercooler piping. This isn't what I used, but I used a 3-inch piece of exhaust like this that I had laying at the shop, and I marked the angle that I needed, and then I cut it with a Sawzall at that angle. I got lucky, and it lined up, so that's kind of what I did. I'm not a fabricator, but I make shit fit, and I make it happen. So I'm going to finish welding this downpipe, and then we're going to have to put an O2 sensor bung on the top of it. Yes, it's called a bung. Don't laugh and giggle like a 2-year-old. So we're going to drill a hole in this, get the O2 sensor bung installed, and then I'll pick up with you guys after that. I'm just going to keep welding away on this thing. It actually fits pretty good inside of there. You can see no obstructions or anything. It's right through. I mean, a little bit on that side, but I can pound that out and weld it. So that's what I'm going to do. It'll be fine. Getting a little ahead of myself. I'm building the rest of the downpipe to go underneath the car. Yep. I'm gonna get that piece welded and then I'll pick up with you guys when I'm done welding that part. All right guys, so I ended up getting the downpipe fully welded and installed onto the car with the O2 bung. I might throw a cell phone clip or a little video that I took, maybe a picture, that I just got it all welded. It's all good to go. It's all just mild steel. I did it with my MIG welder on a 15 amp breaker in my home garage because I do not have good electrical coming out here. The breaker kicked like 8 frickin' times, but I got it done, and now we have an exhaust all the way to the bottom of the car, and it actually faces the rear. So all I need to do now is get a flex pipe, preferably get a flex pipe, and then attach to the rest of the existing 3-inch exhaust that's on the car. So I'm gonna have to do that, I don't know, in the next day or two or whatever. I might do it in the driveway. I might just run it open downpipe to get to the shop and then finish it there. I'm not sure exactly. I'll probably end up just doing it in the driveway. I like working on stuff at home. It's a lot less stressful, and working on it in the driveway, I just don't feel like I'm at work as much as I do when I'm at the shop. So that's kind of why I've been doing this, and I want to relate to you guys to show you that most of this stuff can be done, you know, in your driveway with basic tools. Other than a welder, which, I mean, I've had this welder for a while, and it's saved me lots of time and money. One of the greatest tools I've bought. So other than that, I have to finish up the intercooler piping yet, which I have to mark where I put my blow-off valve, and I'm gonna have to take that to a local aluminum welder, which I'll show you guys, and just get the blow-off valve flange welded once I mark where I want it. The next video we'll be doing the intercooler piping and starting it, hopefully, and probably maybe taking it for a drive. I don't know. I'll probably finish the exhaust, finish the intercooler piping, and get my oil pressure gauge installed, and I think we'll be almost done. So that'll be really exciting. I really appreciate you guys watching. It's been raining today. It's been gorgeous, honestly. Like, I'm so thankful for the weather turning and becoming warmer and sunnier. We've had a very blah fucking just gray and rainy and snowy, and I don't know, it's been just crap for the last like 6 months. So for it to be sunshine for a couple days in a row has really boosted my mood, and it's really boosted my ambition to get a lot of stuff done. And I have so much shit coming. Like, subscribe to the channel, guys, because I have a lot of really cool stuff coming, and I really feel like if you're into anything that, I don't know, goes fast, or yeah, just subscribe if you guys are a gearhead and you like toys and stuff. I have a lot of cool stuff coming, and I really can't wait to show you guys the cool stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed Christine helping me film. You guys should drop down in the comments if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Christine needs to be in more videos because she's been, I feel like she just adds a different character to the channel. And I really appreciate even editing the video when she's helping me film. It's just more fun, and I think she can be more involved with the YouTube channel, and I think that'd be really cool to try to implement her more. So anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great night and a better tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the Integra build and are excited for all the cool stuff coming. I'm stoked. Like, honestly, this whole week is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna try to film as much as I can. I have a ton of like backlogged footage too that I've tuned a couple cars this weekend, been doing the Integra, a whole mess of other shit in my head right now, and orders on the way and cool stuff on the way, and yeah, I don't know. Anyways, see ya.